water you drink, also from the air you take in. And so you will need a right combination of food, air, and water, which is given free by the nature itself. And if you use it properly, I think you should be able to manage this epidemic. The biggest thing is that when you are gaining and carrying extra several pounds in your body, you feel depressed. And since you feel depressed, you keep on making the wrong choices, and it's a vicious cycle. So at some point, we have to shift your awareness, your mentality in how you make the choices in your life. And I have seen that once you start taking control of your life, making sure that you are eating right, eating light, eating at the proper quantities, and trying to engage yourself into a physical routine where you are burning things much more easily, I think you will feel a lot of positivity and abundance in your life in general. Because this is a disease which is linked with so many areas of your life itself, diverse areas of their life itself. Your ability to function properly, memory, retention, recall. We talk about the lipid metabolism, the epidemic of metabolic syndrome, what we are posed with, high blood pressure, tendency towards strokes, tendency towards heart disease, Alzheimer. All of these chronic diseases, what we are talking about, they are all because the srotases are clogged and they are not burning properly. Once the srotases are clogged, the fire becomes slowly and steadily extinguished and it starts dying. And the tricky part is you need to balance both of these things in a way where you are feeling much more vital, active, and energetic because of the food what you eat and because of how much you are burning things properly. And so it is linked with a much greater picture than you would imagine actually. There was a research which came out from England one time that women who were normal weight, earned 37% more money than women who were overweight. Women who were normal weight earned 37% more money than women who were. It was not the same for men actually. Men who were overweight earned much more money than men who were funny. But it was a funny finding. There's what is that?
It's a social issue.
It's a social issue. It's a social.
There shouldn't be generality.
There should be a generality, but I think men have figured out a way how to make more money with minimal efforts, probably somehow. And the more and more they start hoarding everywhere, that's what it is. But it's a general finding. It's a finding which gives us pointer towards certain areas as such. People who are overweight, the loss of work, productivity, and can you imagine? Means if at all you're buying $1 menu and because of that you're getting sick, the amount of loss of productivity which will be happening because of that is tremendous. State approved disability, whatever the claims that you are going to do because of all this, you're getting sick and everything, is huge. And once it happens and it becomes a kind of a trend that we are creating cancers, we are creating epidemics of prostate cancer, we are creating epidemics of breast cancers. It is scary if you really look at the statistics of the breast cancer. And it is linked with everything else. It is all about food, it is all about lifestyle, it is all about how we are probably some of these unhealthy plastic water bottles. You are having these xenoestrogens in that, which is leading to maybe prostate cancers or breast cancers or anything like that. It is linked to, we have created a monster in terms of how we eat our food and how we eat our life, and it's a supermarket kind of a life which is going to literally slowly kill us. It's a slow poison. If we don't really go only to the produce section in a supermarket, the rest all is going to create a slow progression of this epidemic, what we talk about as obesity and slowly. So you as Ayurvedic practitioners should be really aware of how we are progressing into this and how we are going to probably do a lot of hand holding for each individual to help them reach and achieve their goals. Because that sense of fulfillment, that sense of ability to control is going to really create a lot of happiness and structure, abundance in your life. Because if you feel good, you are going to attract a lot of goodness in your life. But you might be surrounded with a lot of goodness, and if you still feel yucky and cross-faced and toxic, you are going to respond in the same manner. So according to Ayurveda, all diseases could be broadly classified into overnutrition and undernutrition. Due to lack of consumption or reduction of energy, the body is unable to really purge things out and creates accumulation and gaining of the weight of the body. And that gaining of the body weight is a bit disproportionate. So it is not that you are building muscles, you are actually building more fat and you are weakening your muscles. You are weakening your bones, you are weakening an areas of an improportionate formation of the dhatus. Because of incomplete digestion, there are more ill-formed dhatus in the body than anything else. So there are malformed tissues and dhatus which are the spectrum for the weight gain as such. These metabolic diseases, either anabolic excesses or catabolic excesses. In both conditions, they are really ill-formed tissues which are at the backdrop of everything. And if there's a constant breaking down of the tissues and building of the new tissues which is happening all the time, the repair mechanism is greatly compensated. Because you are not able to repair properly with the available nutrients. Once the lysis happens in the tissues to build up, you don't have the right tools. You don't have the right nutrients to rebuild your body from good food, from good nutrients, from the right kind of material to create the body. So good things is shedded away and you are building it back with something which is hollow and empty and unhealthy, and that's exactly how your body will be made up of sooner or later. So it says variety of different things, but avyayamino is something those people who do not do exercise, and divasvapna, who have a little bit of more sedentary and luxurious life. It simply means that sleeping during the day or sleeping right after your meals, but it also means that you are engaged into a much more sedentary life and you are actually Adhyasana means eating foods right after eating something. We discussed about it earlier that eating when you are not even hungry, eating food after food on top of things like that in a regular manner, unnecessary eating of excess calories, not knowing whether you are hungry or not. It's one of the main reasons. So this classifies the same thing. Adhyasana shilasya avyayamino divas swapna ratasya. So one who is engaged into eating a lot of food and not doing exercises is the main reason why you will create this. And this is from a classic Sushruta Samhita. It talks about the obesity as overeating, eating too frequently, snacking too much, too many times, lack of exercise, excessive sleeping during the daytime. It's a kapha disorder, but it's kapha and meda dhatu disorder. The body channels causing accumulation of the meda, which is the fat tissue or the adipose tissue, in various parts of the body. We actually have a pound of fat, which is a kind of a model which you can buy it in some of the science catalog or something. It's a yellow gooey looking kind of a pound of fat that we store as a paperweight on our tables there, and we show them that this is what it looks to have an excess 1 pound yucky adipose tissue in your body. And for you to burn this, these are the few options that you need to do. And you need to tell me that when was the last time you did a hike which was for 3 hours. Okay, you should be able to do a hike which was equivalent to 3 hours. You should be doing this many sit-ups. You should be doing this many laps of swimming. You should be able to do this in order to actually burn this thing. And if you are able to do that probably once a month or something like that, that is the ratio, how much energy it will need for you to burn that fat. And it's impossible, because if you really look how much subtle excess calories that you ate, one of the things which I use in my practice is allowing people to do the diet diary. okay, helping them to read their nutritional labels. So I wanted to write down everything what you ate. So I wake up in the morning, I had a bowl of oatmeal. Then 11 o'clock, I had a banana or something like that. Then this was my lunch. Then this was things like that. Then we summarize it at the end of the day, and roughly it says that you ate about somewhere close to 3,000 calories today. And that's fine because you did this kind of a work and everything. And with the work, what you do, waking up, starting your car, going to work, sitting on a desk job, coming back, maybe doing some chores at the household, and then going back to bed, probably you were able to burn about 1,500 calories because of this. So you're still retaining another 1,000 calories unnecessarily somewhere, which you have no ways to burn it. So at the end of the week, it's equivalent to somewhere close to about 5,000 calories that you have excessively earned and deposited into your system, and you have no way to burn it. So over a weekend, you will have to make sure that you do this many things in order to burn it. Or you have to starve at the end of the week because you already have two days of worth excess food into your system within a week. And imagine if you keep on doing it for months and things like that, you're slowly and steadily accumulating unwanted fat into your system, and you would think, oh, I really don't eat bad at all. Okay, you would look at your food and say, oh, this is a pretty good meal. You eat oatmeal, you eat banana, you do this, you do that. There's nothing wrong with the food. But what is wrong is whether you are needing that much of food and that much of calorie, and whether you have a capacity within your Agni to burn it, or whether you have used your body enough to be able to burn that. And if not, then redefine it differently. It is a confusion currently in medicine that we brainwash people that you should eat 5 servings of vegetables. Do you know how much that food is? Okay, in order to get that, this many servings of fruit, this many servings of this. If at all you really look at all the RDA requirement, 80 grams of protein. What is the requirement of protein every day? Pravina.
Depends on the person.
Okay.
50 grams.
So can you imagine to eat 50 to 60 grams of protein every day? How much food you should be eating? And it doesn't come that this is only pure protein. It will come with fat, it will come with carbohydrates, it will come with sugars, it will come with so many other things. So in order to get the 50 to 60 grams of protein, if you think that that is in steak, it is going to come with a loaded fat calories along with that much of protein. So you are happy with the protein content, but what are you going to do with excess fat which comes loaded with that much protein? So in order to think, and whether this is Ayurvedic or Ayurvedic, don't think about that way. You just think about it whether your Agni is able to handle certain foods which are required, and whether you really need 50 to 60 grams of protein, who knows? Okay? There's nothing in stone written. Okay? We think about 100 years ago that people didn't know anything about protein, fat, carbohydrates. They lived a happy, merry life. Okay? And now we are telling, oh, these are some weird requirements that everybody has to deal with and find out and figure out a way that you have to have this much of micrograms of this protein and this vitamin and this mineral, which is whether you need it or don't need it. It is an unnecessary brainwashing that we are all undergoing with, understanding that without this, the life cannot function.
Didn't they just turn the food pyramid upside down?
They did. Just a few years ago, they changed the whole food pyramid upside down completely. And it's criminal, I would say. Okay? This is very difficult because it changes people's mentality, and suddenly they say, oh, I have a license now to eat a lot of oil, and I have license to eat a lot of pasta now because I think that's really good for me, or anything like that. So when it creates a confusion in a short-sighted way, it's almost like a lobbying, that there's a nut lobby, there's a beef lobby, or there's this lobby or that lobby, which is funneling some of the research which people have forgotten to think about what they need, but they are believing, oh, this is what the research says to need it, whether it is for a Caucasian population, an African American population, or Asian population. Nobody asks those questions. The